Hello and welcome to my dungeon. Chat, is this a safe space? Please say yes. I want to complain. So, I've been having some difficulty at the gym, and you may be like, oh, what, Kate, you hit your PR? No. The problem is, like, I have a lot of really weird experiences at the gym. I do think, though, however, this is my favorite gym, and even though I do have, like, the weird experiences with, like, Bobby and, like, the Overwatch guy and, like, you know, the other guy that's, like, boyfriend, even though I have those issues, I do like the gym. You know, I do think it's fun. However, there are some instances where it's a little frustrating. The amount of times I've been asked in general if I am using, you know, oh, are you on this machine? And I'm like actively doing another machine. But like, I get it, you know, like it's just nice to, it's just polite to ask. So I'm always like, no, you're good. You know, I'm always, you know, whatever, just chill. And then there's, you know, the guys that, you know, come ask like, oh, how many sets do you have left? Like, and you're standing there and you go, 2. And they're like, and they walk off and it's like, okay, don't gotta get mad at me. Like, and the thing is too, like this is what is frustrating. I have to rest between sets. Like, I feel like most normal people have to rest between sets. What I tend to do when I'm resting between sets is I will text my friends, or I'll go onto Twitter, or I'll go switch my music out. Sometimes I like to go heavy, and if I go super heavy, I need a longer time to recuperate, you know? It's really frustrating because a lot of other people will also be on their phones, and I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet being like, oh, women are on women at the gym and they're on their phones and they're taking Instagram mirror pics and blah blah blah. I've seen more dudes be taking Instagram, like lifting up their tiny little tank top and flexing as hard as they can, so hard that they get veins in their neck and their face turns red, but you know, gotta make the abs look good. Like, I saw one where it was like, oh my god, I saw this on Instagram and it made me so mad. A girl was wearing a sports bra and shorts and she was working out, right? Gyms can be hot, okay? So let it be, all right? And she looked good. The comment was, why do girls wear the little clothes at the gym if you're going to work out? And I was like, of course. And so I scrolled, and the next scroll I did, I swear to God, the guy was shirtless and had on like Speedo workout pants, and you saw everything. Like, you saw. And you know what? No comments like that. Why don't guys wear clothes? Like, it was all the people were like, wow, you look great. What can you bench? Oh, blah, blah, blah. There was no negative comments about it. And I was like, hey, you know, let people wear what they want to, as long as it's, you know, not too far. You know, you're not going to go to the gym wearing lingerie. My issue of what I'm having an issue with is, like, I've gone to the gym quite a bit. There's been a couple times at the gym where, like, I'll be sitting at a bench and I'm like doing like chest press or whatever. And like, you know, I'll be actively doing something and I put it down and I'm like taking a rest. And someone will come over to me like all just huffy puffy. And keep in mind, there's like bench. All the other benches are full of men, right? And then there's me on this bench. The moment I set my weights down, it's, how many sets do you have left? Like, every single time without fail, it's like, how many sets do you have left? And I'll be like, 1. And like, ugh. They turn around. They don't ask anybody else. They only ask me. And I'm like, don't bite me. You're included as you, sir, are a man. So what's got me all frustrated and angry, there's a couple of benches. So there's a whole row of benches at this spot at the gym. And then there's bench, incline bench. I usually go for the bench here because it's by like a pillar of mirror, I guess, and like it's kind of secluded from the other benches, and then so it's like here's a pillar and then the bench and then like the weight rack, so it's like kind of a weird situation. I was gonna do sumo squats and goblet squats. I always call them goblin squats, but goblet. And the thing is, like, the difference, so the sumo squat is you have to have your legs kind of pointed out and then you sumo squat down and then you come up, right? You have to have it at a certain angle. Goblet squats or goblin squats, you have to have like a plate on the ground and you have to have your heels on it, and then you hold it like this, and I keep my knees pointed straight, and then I go straight down and then I come back up, right? I don't go all the way down because it makes your knees feel funky, but you just go, you know, as far as it's comfortable, and then you go back up. The thing is I like to be kind of by a mirror so I can make sure my form, I'm not like throwing it back, you know, like I'm just gotta make sure my form is good, and also too, my knees aren't going whah, and you know, I just want to make sure that we're good. I go to this bench area because I was also going to do Bulgarian split squats, but so I go over to this bench, and the bar, because it's a bench press, the bar's gone, and I was like, all right, cool, I didn't need that anyway, and this will be even better because someone's not going to come over here and be like, oh, are you using this? Because there's no bar, so there's going to be like no point for them to need it. And I do some stretches, you know, just drink some water. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I do my goblet squats, and I'm just, you know, doing it, and it's great. And then I'm like, okay, finished. I did 3 sets of those, and I 10 times, and it felt good, it felt great. And I was like, okay, so I went and put my 25-pound back, and I put the plate back, and I was like, okay, sumo. But the only thing is, my finger is still kind of borked from the car accident. I've gone to the doctor twice, and they've told me, well, it's not broken, so it's fine. And I'm like, well, and then they're like, oh, you should get, you know, physical therapy. And I was like, I don't think my insurance covers it, so I'll just see what happens, you know? It has gotten better, but it's not, it still hurts. But anyway, so with my sumo squats, I have to have like a wrist wrap because I also have little sad wrists. But this was mostly because the finger, right? I can't grip it good enough. I do one set and I'm like, oh, like every single time I'm like holding it because I'm like, ugh, it hurts, you know? So I sit on the bench and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna text for a little bit. So I text. La 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 la. You know, I'm just texting. So I get up and I'm like, gosh, okay. So I do my sumo squats, right? I'm like, oh my god. So I've set the weight down on the bench. I sit and I'm like, whew, I text. And then I, you know, I'm wearing my headphones. I'm looking down. And then all of a sudden I see a frantic hand in front of me, right? Like this. You know how like people do that? Like if you're like dazed or whatever? Imagine that, but like down here, right? So I look up and a guy's looking at me. And I was like, someone choking on something? Like, do they need CPR? Like, why me, you know? So I remove my headset and I look at him and he goes, are you using the bench? And I was like I had my weights and I had my bag and I had like my water and I was like, yes. And he's like, and I was like, is he mad I'm not doing bench press? Like I'm using the bench as like a seat and also to hold the weight because I can't, you know, my finger's busted, you know? And so I was like, is he mad that it doesn't even have a bar, bro? Like, and so I was like, and so I look at him and he's like, cause he was bent down, you know, did the whole, are you using this bench? No. I'm just wiping my butt on it. No, what do you think? Anyway, so then like I panic and I go, well, I only have one set left. And he just went and like walked away. And he went over, he had two buddies on another bench machine, but the bench machine was like the tilted one. And he went over to them. Do you think he asked? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All full of men. Do you think he asked any of them if they were using the bench? So I hurried, and you know what? I was petty. I didn't wipe down the bench. After I was done, I didn't wipe it down. I was very petty. But I was just like, come on, like you can't just, of course I'm using it. I'm literally sitting on it, but I think he just got mad that I was texting and I wasn't physically using the bench, even though I was kind of planning on it, but then I panicked and I was like, ooh. So that kind of peeved me. And also, you know what else peeved me? That was last week, all right? This week, today, this morning, go to the gym. Do y'all know like the kickback machine? So the kickback machine, I talked about it on stream today and I'm real mad. I just got re-mad at it. I just thought about it and re-mad. Anyway, so the kickback machine is something new I discovered and I really like it. You have your chest down on like this cushion thing, right? And you have your elbows on cushion things and you're leaned forward. It's kind of like what I imagine a motorcycle is if a motorcycle didn't require you to sit up. I've never ridden a motorcycle. And you can't, your face, unless you like, you know, but like your face is like you're facing down, right? And then you have, so your chest is on like a pad down here and then your elbows are down and you're holding onto this thing and then you have a knee pad kind of like, and then you put your heel on this bar and then you kick back with your heel, right? I was gonna do 3 sets of 8 because I was going kind of heavy, you know? So I did 1 set and it was good. And then I had a second set and I was fine. Everything was great. The only dilemma today, right, is every single machine for the entire hour and a half that I was there was taken. Every single one. It was very frustrating. I didn't get all my workouts in, so I wasn't even there for an hour and a half. But you know what I mean. Anyway, besides the point. You're gonna fall. Hold on. I know, you're gonna fall. You know that? Here's the picture. Here's what it looked like. Anyway, I'm on my 3rd and final set. The thing is about the way that the gym is set up is like the machines can be kind of evenly spread out, but then also they're so close together, right? So the kickback machine, you have to be really careful of your surroundings. I mean this as someone who's walking around and as someone who's on it. So I start my 3rd and final set. I'm like 1, 2, 3. And when I was on 3, I feel this boom. And I was like, what? And so I look back like under my armpit and there's just some old dude walking behind me, like in this much of a space between this machine and me, like I'm kicking back, right? There's this much space. He saw me actively working out and decided to walk behind me and I looked under my armpit and he's just doing this. I'm actively working out. I can't see him. I don't have rear view mirrors in real life. It's on my car. It's not in my gym, you know? And so I was like, so I stop and I kind of turn around. He just walks away and I'm like, all right, I guess. I mean, at that point, it's his fault, but it could have hurt me, you know? Like my foot could have slipped. Could you imagine? Oh my God. Anyway, and it just like, the thing is, like, I understand sometimes stuff happens. I did a pretty heavy leg day and I was walking back to my car. I got tunnel vision. I was like, ooh, I did not eat enough. I did not drink enough water. I am going to faint if I don't sit in the next 10 seconds, right? So I was walking back to my car and a car that was in the parking lot coming around the corner was the same color as the pavement, so I couldn't see it really, and I was also tunnel vision. Luckily, they saw me, so they stopped, because I'm like walking like this, and I see in the corner of my eye movement, and I'm like, oh shit, like, there it is, you know, like it just, so like if they didn't see me, I would be a pancake right now. However, if you're walking directly behind someone, anyway, I just, the thing is, I would like to go to an all ladies gym. I just feel like, one, it would be really far. I feel like somehow in LA, it would be just a really far gym, or they wouldn't really have anything. Cause like, I feel like some gyms are like, yeah, we're all ladies, and they have like 2 equipments and 2 of them are squat machines. Don't get me wrong, I like squat machines. I do other things. Cause listen, a long time ago, I was told that I squat weird and my form was wrong, and they tried to show me how to do the proper form and I couldn't do it, and so they told me my balance was just bad and I just have to get good, and I'm too scared to ever do the squat rack ever again. I tried to explain, I think I have long femurs, but they're like, no, you're supposed to do this, and I was like, I physically cannot do that, and they're like, well, you're supposed to, and I'm like, well, you're a man, so what do you know? I didn't say that, but I thought it. Where are my girlies at? Also, you know what's really also annoying? This is so off topic, but I just feel like being angry today. So I don't know if I talked about this before, like 4 weeks ago, brand new car, right? I went to the grocery store and I was all excited to go to the grocery store, and I was like, yeah, I got groceries, a new car. And I go out to but the thing is like my finger was, you know, I can't really grip anything, and especially like 4 weeks ago, it was still pretty bad. So I was taking all the groceries out to the car and I had a milk in this hand, but it was really hurting my finger. So I was like, oh, I'll just shuffle it over to this. So when I went to shuffle it over, I dropped the milk and it exploded. The entire gallon of milk exploded in the parking lot as I was 2 feet from my car, and milk got on my black Converse and it got on my black car, and it immediately dried on both. And so I was frantic. I ran back into the grocery store, got a water, came back out, was like pouring water on a rag and like wiping my car down because I didn't want to like chip the paint. I don't know if milk can do that, but like I don't know, I'm not a car person. I play video games, I don't know. And so I'm like frantically cleaning it off. I did, and then I had to come home and wash my shoes because you don't want like spoiled milk on your shoes, right? And so then I was like, well, now I have to go buy another $5 milk. So I had to go in and I bought 2 milks. But then explain to me why last week I went in to get a gallon of milk, and when I went, I bought it and I walked out to the car and I was like, why is my hand wet? And I looked down and I saw this trail of milk going down my legs, down onto my feet, and I turned around. There was a trail going back to there was a hole in the handle. Now, if some of you have bagged milk, you're gonna be really confused. Or if you have like cartons with like wooden? Technically wooden's not wrong, but paper, you may be really confused. But you know, like the plastic gallon, it just got, the milk can go into the handle, and apparently the handle was busted. So I like held it at an angle, but the rest of the food in the car waddled back in, and I go to the lady and I'm like, hey, so I just bought this, but there's a hole in the handle. And she goes, just go get another one. And I was like, okay. So I gave her that one and she put it in a bag and kind of set it to the side, and I'm like, someone's gonna forget about that and they're gonna pick it up and milk's gonna go everywhere. So then I went to the back and I had my little receipt with me the whole time. So I go to the back, I get another milk, and this time I'm like, because I'm not doing that again. I'm not going in for a 3rd milk, all right? So then it's fine. So then I go and I walk over back to the lady and I was like, I held up the receipt and I'm like, she didn't even look at me. And I was like, all right, I guess I can leave now. I don't know. I felt like I was stealing. The last time I stole something, I was 4 and I didn't understand. And ever since, no, that's a lie. I stole a balloon once. The guilt ate me alive until one day I realized that my teacher didn't really care about me as much as I thought she did. So it stopped eating me alive after that. Ow! No! Hey, question. How can y'all trim your cat's claws? Asking for a friend. This is the friend. Relax. I feel like this is making it worse. Anyway, thanks for watching my angry dungeon video today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to me. Yep. And I'll see you next time. Safe travels. Okay, bye!